What if I told you boxing isn't just about punches? It's about empires. Some fighters earned millions. Others lost it just as fast. But a rare few turned fists into fortunes so powerful. They reshaped what wealth in sports even means. Private jets on standby. Supercars lined up like trophies. Mansions built far beyond the reach of the ring. Today, we're counting down the richest boxers on earth, ranking their net worth, lifestyles, cars, mansions, and business empires. And before we reveal the fighter whose wealth eclipsed legends, and whose name became synonymous with money itself, take a second to like the video and subscribe. Because in boxing, power fades, but empires decide who's remembered. Number 10, Mike Tyson. Estimated net worth, $85 million. What happens when extreme wealth arrives before wisdom? At just 20 years old, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, a milestone that unlocked unimaginable fortune. But it wasn't the fights that defined his wealth. It was how he chose to live it. Tyson owns sprawling mansions in Las Vegas and Ohio, estates built for privacy and spectacle, with gated entrances and grounds that could swallow entire neighborhoods. Sitting in his private garages are Ferrari 488s, Lamborghini Aventadors, Bentley Mulsannes, and Rolls-Royce Phantoms, lined like trophies of success. At one point, his lifestyle even included pet tigers roaming the grounds, a rare display of excess mirroring his meteoric rise. Yet the centerpiece of his modern empire is Tyson Ranch, a multi-million-dollar cannabis and lifestyle venture in California, blending branding, retreats, and product lines that generate income far beyond pay-per-views. And while his fortune once roared, the next man on this list proves that wealth can thrive in silence, grown with precision rather than spectacle. Number 9, Sugar Ray Leonard. Estimated net worth, $120 million. What if wealth could be built as gracefully as a perfect combination in the ring? Sugar Ray Leonard turned Olympic gold and legendary rivalries with Hearns, Duran, and Hagler into not just fame, but fortune. Yet it wasn't the purses that defined his empire. It was the lifestyle and investments that carried his wealth decades beyond the ring. He owns a stunning Italian villa-style mansion in Pacific Palisades, California, valued at over $46 million, with manicured gardens, gated security, and sweeping ocean views that reflect a life of refined luxury. Sitting in his private garages are a Rolls-Royce Phantom and several classic Porsches, each vehicle carefully chosen to match style and prestige. Over the years, he diversified into television commentary, endorsements, speaking engagements, and motivational appearances, creating recurring income that preserved his wealth quietly but powerfully. And while his life exemplifies elegance and control, the next man on this list proves that spectacle and chaos can transform notoriety into a fortune just as massive, but built with a very different rhythm. Number 8, Lennox Lewis. Estimated net worth, $140 million. What if the smartest financial move a champion ever made was knowing when to stop? Lennox Lewis didn't just earn money, he protected it. An Olympic gold medalist and undisputed heavyweight champion, he earned elite paydays in an era stacked with legends. Unlike many peers, he never let fame dictate spending. Every dollar was measured, every investment intentional. He owns a private retreat in Jamaica, a sanctuary far from the public eye, where manicured lawns and ocean views signal wealth beyond the headlines. Sitting in his garages are Rolls-Royce Phantoms and a rare collection of classic Jaguars, each chosen for craftsmanship and presence, not impulse. From calculated dominance inside the ring to quiet mastery outside it, Lennox Lewis proves true fortune is preserved, not flaunted. And while his story is one of restraint, the next man on this list turns chaos into currency, showing that wealth can also arrive loud, bold, and unstoppable. Number 7, Tyson Fury. Estimated net worth, $160 million. What happens when personality itself becomes a source of fortune? Tyson Fury isn't just a heavyweight champion. He's a spectacle whose every move generates revenue. From comeback victories to high-stakes bouts, he turned drama outside the ropes into earnings inside and beyond the ring, proving that wealth can follow charisma as much as skill. He owns luxury mansions in Morecambe, England, and Marbella, Spain, each fortified with gated security, sprawling grounds, and bespoke interiors reflecting both opulence and privacy. Sitting in his garages are a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Bentley Mulsanne, multiple Ferraris, and high-performance Lamborghinis, vehicles that signal status and presence, not just mobility. Above it all, a £100 million Airbus ACJ private jet, nicknamed a flying hotel, waits to transport him across continents for business, fights, and media engagements. Beyond traditional assets, he generates ongoing income through Fury promotions, endorsement deals, best-selling books, and Netflix documentaries, creating streams of wealth that compound quietly but powerfully. And while his fortune thrives in the spotlight, the next man on this list proves that wealth can also arrive quietly, through discipline, precision, and measured control. Number 6. Oleksandr Usyk. Estimated net worth, $165 million. Oleksandr Usyk built his fortune quietly, with the same discipline that made him undisputed champion at cruiserweight and later heavyweight. One major victory against Anthony Joshua cemented his earning power, while the mega fight with Tyson Fury elevated him to elite financial territory, all without ever needing to shout for attention. He owns a mansion in Kyiv, a fortified estate blending modern luxury with privacy, a retreat from the public eye. Sitting in his garage are a Rolls-Royce Phantom, Mercedes-Maybach S-Class, BMW X7, and Porsche 911 Turbo, each chosen for prestige and practicality. When travel calls, private jets ensure every journey is efficient, controlled, and discreet. From a disciplined, measured rise to global superstardom, Usyk's empire thrives on quiet precision. And while his wealth whispers rather than shouts, the next fighter on our list proves that fortune can roar, turning personality and spectacle into a multi-million-dollar empire. Number 5. Anthony Joshua. Estimated net worth, $180 million. Anthony Joshua didn't just rise as a heavyweight champion. He turned Olympic gold and his reign as unified world champion into a lifestyle few could imagine. Every fight, endorsement, and public appearance became a building block for a carefully curated empire. He owns multiple estates across London and Surrey, modern compounds with gated security, private gyms, and expansive gardens offering both luxury and sanctuary. Sitting in his garages are a Rolls-Royce Phantom, Lamborghini Aventador, and Bentley Continental GT, each car a deliberate statement of power, speed, and prestige. His empire includes multi-million-dollar sponsorships, lucrative fight contracts, fitness brands, and strategic real estate investments, all generating recurring income that grows while maintaining his status off the canvas. And while his wealth demands attention, the next man on this list proves that fortune can be built quietly, steadily, and without fanfare. Number 4. Oscar De La Hoya. Estimated net worth, $200 million. What happens when a fighter turns every punch into a business opportunity? Oscar De La Hoya didn't just dominate in the ring. He transformed Olympic gold and multiple world championships into a sprawling empire. His income wasn't limited to fight purses. It became a lifestyle meticulously built to last. He owns luxury estates in Beverly Hills and Las Vegas, sprawling compounds with gated entrances, private gyms, and manicured gardens, each reflecting the precision and discipline that defined his career. Sitting in his private garages are a Ferrari 488 Spider, Lamborghini Aventador, Rolls-Royce Phantom, a collection of classic Mustangs, each car chosen for status and enduring value. Parked behind gated doors, a Gulfstream G650 private jet ensures international travel for promotions, business ventures, and media appearances remain seamless and private. Beyond tangible assets, De La Hoya's wealth grows through Golden Boy promotions, lucrative endorsements, media deals, and strategic investments in real estate and sports ventures, establishing him as one of the most financially intelligent athletes of his generation. And while his wealth is calculated and enduring, The next man on this list shows that fortune can arrive loud, audacious, and impossible to ignore. Number 3. Manny Pacquiao. Estimated net worth, $220 million. Manny Pacquiao's rise from humble beginnings to boxing legend didn't just earn titles, it built an empire. As an 8-division world champion and one of the sport's most marketable stars, he transformed championship purses into tangible assets and strategic investments that extend far beyond the ring. He owns luxury estates in General Santos City and Manila, Philippines, gated compounds featuring infinity pools, private gyms, and manicured gardens, blending security with elegance. Sitting in his garages are a Rolls-Royce Phantom, Bentley Continental GT, Ferrari 488, and a collection of Lamborghinis, vehicles that demonstrate both taste and global success. He also owns a 5-seater Bell Jet Ranger helicopter for travel needs within the Philippines. And while his wealth balances fame, influence, and discipline, the next man on this list proves that fortune can arrive loud, unapologetic, and virtually untouchable, reshaping the very definition of financial dominance in sports. Number 2. Canelo Alvarez. Estimated net worth, $420 million. What happens when skill in the ring is matched by mastery outside of it? Canelo Alvarez didn't just capture titles. He transformed every championship into a wealth engine. As a multiple division world champion and one of boxing's most marketable stars, his earnings extend far beyond fight purses into investments, brands, and lifestyle assets that cement his empire. He owns a sprawling mansion in Guadalajara, Mexico, an estate with gated security, private courts, and infinity pools overlooking lush landscapes, offering both luxury and sanctuary. Sitting in his private garages are a Ferrari 488 Pista, Lamborghini Aventador, Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Bentley Continental GT, and several high-performance Porsches, vehicles that showcase both taste and dominance. Parked behind secure gates, a Gulfstream G650 private jet waits to transport him anywhere in the world for business, training camps, and major fights. Beyond real estate and vehicles, Canelo's fortune flows through Canelo Promotions, high-value endorsements, strategic equity investments, and international partnerships, generating recurring income that grows quietly but consistently. Complementing his aerial luxury, Canelo also owns a lavish yacht, an ocean-bound symbol of his success, where he hosts family gatherings and private celebrations, underscoring his taste for exclusivity and leisure. And while his empire balances fame and financial acumen, the next man on this list takes wealth to an even more extreme level. Loud, relentless, and impossible to ignore. Number 1. Floyd "Money" Mayweather. Estimated net worth, $450 million. What happens when no one else can out-earn you? Even a sport built on pay-per-view. Floyd "Money" Mayweather Jr. didn't just dominate boxing. He transformed it into a financial machine. An undefeated world champion, his status opened doors to record-breaking fight purses, global endorsements, and a lifestyle few could imagine. But it wasn't just income. It was ownership, structure, and empire building that set him apart. He owns luxury mansions in Las Vegas, estates with gated entrances, sprawling pools, private gyms, and landscape gardens that mirror both prestige and security. Sitting in his garages are over 20 exotic cars, including Ferrari LaFerraris, Rolls-Royce Phantoms, Bentley Mulsannes, Bugatti Veyrons, and Lamborghini Aventadors, each parked like a trophy, a grounded testament to his power. His wealth extends to the skies with a Bombardier Global Express private jet and a fleet of yachts, ensuring seamless travel between fights, business ventures, and global appearances. His empire grows through Mayweather Promotions, pay-per-view deals, sponsorships, real estate investments, and high-profile media projects, generating recurring income independent of the ring. Every asset, every business, every contract reflects control, strategy, and relentless focus on preserving and multiplying wealth. From estates to exotic cars, jets to business empires, Floyd Mayweather proves that financial dominance can eclipse even athletic dominance. And there it is, The fighters who didn't just dominate the ring, but mastered the world beyond it. Some built empires quietly, through discipline, patience, and strategy. Others turned chaos, risk, and reinvention into fortune. But every name on this list proves one truth. Boxing can change your life if you survive it. Because belts fade, records get debated, but ownership, influence, and legacy, those last forever. The real question isn't who hit the hardest, it's who turned every challenge, every setback, into power, and power into permanence. If you enjoyed this journey through wealth and dominance, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Who surprised you most? And who do you think truly built an empire? And for more stories where boxing meets wealth, legacy, and unrivaled influence, check out the next video on your screen. In this sport, champions are remembered, but empires? They're studied.